Let me put you guys all on grid. Hey, everybody.
Hi. What should,
Hi.
what should I call you, Mr. Cheyenne Jackson, the man, the
Uh,
Jackson?
no,
I'm a
you can
co-host,
call
so
me. You can call me Your Majesty.
All right, done.
Too.
We're on it. We will
Hello,
definitely.
Your Majesty.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I was just telling all the kids in here about how you were like so nice and coming and joining us and letting us ask you a bunch of questions, even though we're like we're a pretty big high school, but we're in like, middle of Graham, Washington, a tiny town.
So where is Graham?
Graham,
it's close to Puyallup by like the fairgrounds,
it's
Puyallup Fair.
Ah,
just south of Puyallup, if you know. Well, you know Western Washington. You lived in.
I was born in Spokane.
Yep.
I grew up outside of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Teeny little town called Newport, Washington, right on the border of Priest River and like Sandpoint. And I went to Spokane Falls Community College for about one semester, and then. So when did you do stuff? Is it Alicia or Alicia?
Alicia.
Alicia, when did you do stuff at the Spokane Civic?
I did stuff there when I was in college, so like
Okay.
2005-ish.
Okay.
So I don't know how many like people we know in common.
Troy Nickerson?
Yes, Troy Nickerson. He cut my hair once.
Yes, he's the best.
Yes, and Joanna Hardy, who you
Yes.
from like forever ago. I used to work with her in Seattle too.
Wow.
Pacific Northwest Ballet. But
Yeah, Joanna Hardy, I can't remember what the first thing we did together. We did stuff at the Coeur d'Alene Summer Theater, but then, the first show I ever saw at the Spokane Civic was West Side Story, and she was Maria.
yeah,
She was so cute. Yes. And
see,
who else are other people there? Like, is Kathy Doyle Lipe? Is she still around?
she's still around. I haven't seen her in a long time, but the last time I saw her, which was probably like 10, 15 years ago, she was still doing backflips in her high heels. Do you remember that she used to do that?
Of course. She was like 4'10" and would do round off backhand, back tuck in stilettos. And her voice was like this. She's like, "Come on, everybody. Yeah.
I know, but she could play like any character. I love her. But anyway.
Well, yeah, anyway, here we are.
I'm
I'm so glad you reached out. I love talking to high school students, middle school students about art and theater, and it just so happens that you reached out, and here we are.
I really appreciate it. Everybody's like, oh my God,
Sure.
how did you get Cheyenne Jackson to show up? And I was like, well, I basically tried to like schmooze him and be like, we're totally from the same hometown. Come talk. And I was like, I'm very thrilled and excited that you were like, yeah, let's make this a priority. Let's do it. We're so
Absolutely.
passionate. I had so many students and so many teachers message me and be like, wait, like the Cheyenne Jackson? Like he's coming? And I was like, yes, he's
Here
coming.
we are.
Okay, here he is. And I'm trying not to like freak out and sweat a little bit.
Don't freak out.
Even though we have
Don't freak out. I'm in my sweatpants, and the house is a mess, and it's just we're all the same.
We're all people, but we appreciate it.
Let me turn you up a little bit.
So these guys have class at 12:30, so
Okay.
I wanted to make sure that we don't have a lot of time, but I appreciate you being here, so I want to make sure that they get a chance to talk to you.
Sure.
I know a lot of them have questions to ask you. I don't want to like put you on the spot. Is there anything that like you want to say about yourself or your career real quick before they ask questions, or they can just like,
No.
fire
Let's
away?
make the most of this time. I'm an open book. I'm happy to talk about whatever. I'm here to answer anything you want to know. If I don't know the answer, then I'll lie.
Okay, that's perfect. But we call it acting. That's what I always say.
Acting. That's what my kids say. Acting. My son. I have twins. They'll be 4 tomorrow. A boy and a girl. And yeah, thanks. And my son, they love that I've been actor for a job. They can't even believe that it's my actual job. But my son came around that he pretended that his leg was hurting. And he was holding his leg, and he was like, my leg. He kept it up for 2 days. And then as I was putting him to bed the next night, he said, acting. Kind of weird,
That's
but
hilarious. You know what? That's what happens to actors' kids. I feel like they just grow up with that. And he
yeah,
feels like he did a good job, right? That he like fooled you, that he was acting.
he
For
fully fooled me. I mean, he made me carry him around.
I love that.
Stinker.
That sounds like something. I have a 2-year-old. It sounds like something my 2-year-old would do to me. It's not lying. It's acting.
It's acting.
Yeah.
So this is, real quick before we start. So this is your, is this a culmination of your theater classes? This is one class, or?
This is pretty much any student. I reached out to our drama club, so the kids that do all of our like school productions, as well as my theater students, like kids who are in the theater classes that I teach throughout the day, as well as pretty much anybody else in the school who wanted to come and join, because I know
Who was around?
A lot of students don't necessarily, and this is my plug for you, all join drama club. Not every student participates in theater, but they might be fans of yours from some of the other stuff that you've done.
Sure.
To come on and join. And I said, yeah, let's do it. Because we've got
Let's
7
do it.
people on here. That's awesome. Okay, so I see some hands. So what we're going to do is you guys can, you guys are free to unmute yourselves or whatever you want to do. And you can raise your hand, either like your actual hand or your virtual like Zoom hand. And then Cheyenne, do you want me to call on people? Do you want to call on people?
Why don't you be the moderator, and then I'll focus on whoever is talking, and we'll just go from there.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so there's a bunch of hands. People who've had their hand up for a while. Okay, Ella, you have a question. Ella Overbeck, what's your question?
Hi.
Hi.
I'm a very anxious person, but I'm interested in theater, and I was just wondering if there's any tips to help someone who has anxiety.
Oh, that's such a good question. I also am an anxious person. When I was about 11 or 12, when I first started singing was the first thing that kind of got me into theater. I could not talk to anybody. I was also a whole foot taller than everyone else. I'm 6'4", so I was really tall at an early age, and I didn't want to be seen. I just wanted to blend in. Somebody gave me some great advice. I was doing a play on Broadway, and it was an older character actor. And I always get nervous, Ella. I have such anxiety before I go out. Every time I start a show or a concert, I think, why am I doing this? This is way too hard. I'm way too scared. Why can't I just be like, here we go? You know, because you see those people that are like, let's do a show, everybody. Not me. I'm always nervous and I'm always scared. And I asked my friend who was in this play called Xanadu with me on Broadway. His name was Tony Roberts. And I said, Tony, because I was struggling with anxiety and nervousness, I said, do you still get nervous? And he said, every time. He said, if you don't get nervous, it means you don't care. So you should hold on to the fact that the reason why you're nervous and you're anxious is because you want to do a good job. And you want to really get out there and express yourself and open your heart and give it to everybody. So instead of trying to put the anxiety down, oh my gosh, I'm not feeling anything, just sit in it. Let it inform you. Let it be your energy out there. So now I'm getting ready to go on stage. In the wings, I'm so nervous. I jump around a lot. I try to like get in my body. And then I get out there and I just use that nervousness, because that nervousness that makes your voice shake and makes your body shake is the fuel that will help you reach to the back of the room. But I understand. That's
Wow, that's really good advice, because I've always known to like just push away my anxiety. But no, that makes me feel so much better, and I feel so much better that you get anxious too, because and
everybody does. And if they don't, they're lying. Everybody gets nervous. Everybody cares about what everybody thinks. We are all the same. It's just some people are better at hiding it. And I found once I didn't try to hide it anymore, I can say to my co-stars, "Oh, I'm so nervous right now," and they'll be like, "I am too. I'm dying inside." And then it relieves it for all of us, you know.
Yeah, that's good advice, and I will give that advice to my best friend. And it's also her birthday tomorrow.
Oh, happy birthday! What's her name?
Her name is Kaylee.
Happy birthday, Kaylee. I thought my kids were coming in.
All right, and happy birthday to your boys.
Oh, a boy and a girl. But thank you
And
very much.
yeah,
Yeah, thank you, Ella.
of course.
All right. I'm just going to kind of go down the line a little bit. Dakota, did you have a question?
Yes.
Hey, Dakota.
So, like, I noticed that you were Hades in Descendants 3. And I've heard a lot about, like, Disney actors and actresses, like, how they're, like, put to, like, super high standards. How was working with Disney?
You're right about that. It's a two-part question. So I loved working with Disney, and I continue to work with Disney. I love Kenny Ortega, the creator of that, you know, Descendants, and also the creator of Julie and the Phantoms, which I just did with him. You know, there are good and bad people everywhere you work. You know, I'm sure you've been part of plays where most people are great, but then there's two jerks. You know what I mean? My experience with Disney was really good. As far as the Disney kids, I mean, they're 22 and 23, but they're kids to me. They are definitely under a microscope, and they're under a lot of scrutiny. And what I was amazed with is every single thing is documented. So what I mean is, like, even when we're just sitting around rehearsing, there are people with cameras. We're learning our music for the first time, and there's the music stand, and then they put like a GoPro camera on the music stand, and they're filming us learning our music. I was like, wait, hold on. I want to be in a rehearsal studio and just do this on my own. And they're like, yeah, it's Disney. They like content. They need content. So the girls, you know, Dove and Sophia and everybody, they have to document everything. And it's a full-time job. Like, they do their scene, and then after a scene is over, a group of people come around them, and they have to do social media stuff, and they say cut, and then they're like, hey everybody, here we are on the set of blah blah blah. Like, it's a lot, but it's a new generation of actors, and that's kind of what you sign up for. So
All right. Thank you.
yeah.
Okay. Kyla has a question. Kyla, what is your question?
Hello, I'm Kyla. I'm a senior.
I can't see Kyla. Let me see if I can move my screen over. Can you wave, Kyla? Oh, there you are. Glasses. Hi. Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
So I've been doing choir and orchestra for years, and drama club. Like, I'm a stage manager and stuff, and I want to be a performer, vocal performance and stuff. And I really just like don't know where to go, like how to get to the next step, because I haven't really had any like formal dance lessons or anything, so I don't really know how to do that. And I haven't really had formal like vocal technique for like musical theater, just like classical technique. But I can belt. I've been in a musical before, so like I can do it. I just haven't had any like formal teaching, and I want to like become a performer, but I just don't really know where to go. Like, I don't know if I should go to college, or like what college I should go to for that. And like I just don't know where to go. I don't know how to step of becoming a performer, because it's not really something people talk about too much. It's just like I left high school and now I'm on Broadway, you know, so I just don't really know how to get there.
I relate to everything that you said, Kyla, because I have never had dance training, and also didn't have any vocal training until I was already in New York working. So, and I didn't go to college except for half of one semester at Spokane Falls Community College, which doesn't really count. So what I would ask you is this: is this your dream? Like, when you wake up in the morning, is performing and creating art, is that the first thing you think of in the morning and the last thing you think about before bed? Great. If you were said anything other than that, I would say don't do it. Skip it. It's too hard. There's too much rejection. And the path is just so squiggly. You don't know where it's going to be. But if performing is the thing that inspires you and you want to do more than anything, my advice to you is to do everything you can to hone your craft. So you haven't had training, right? You haven't had dance class, but you've been in some theater. Have you been in some productions?
Yeah, I've been, like, I was in Adam's Family. I played Wednesday.
Great.
Years back. I've been in choir since like 2nd grade. And like I play in orchestra. So I have a lot of music theory and music. Like
Perfect.
I don't know how to explain that. You know what I mean?
Perfect.
Yeah.
I get it. No, that's the best thing. My advice to you would be a jack of all trades, or a Jill of all trades in your case. Just do everything that you possibly can, because you never know when you're going to need that stuff. So I love that you work behind the scenes. I love that you can play instruments. I love that you have a musical ear because you know musical theory. Do everything you can and learn from everyone. What I always do, Kyla, when I'm not in a scene, if I'm not out there in the scene doing the work, I am standing in the wings on the side, watching the people that are doing the scene so I can learn from them. Because I had a lot of, I lost you, but you can hear me still. I had a lot of insecurity because I didn't go to college. I thought, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just faking it. But I learned by watching other people. So do everything you can. Be a part of every production you can, every choir you can. Sing as low as you can. Sing as high as you can. You mentioned that you were classically trained. Keep that high soprano stuff, but also really work on your belt. So you can do both. So if you go in for a part and they say, you got to be able to belt a D, then you're like, no problem. Oh, and we also need a high C, like Glinda. You have to be able to do both. So I would just say, keep it going. Learn everything you can from everybody. I hope that helps. You're welcome.
Thank you. I know that's a question a lot of students have right now.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. We've got a couple people with their hands up. Lance Garcia, do you have a question?
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of like American Horror Story, and I was wondering, what was your favorite season to film for that one?
Oh my gosh. American Horror Story. I did 4 seasons on that show. What's my favorite one? Listen, American Horror Story is not for everybody, right? It's pretty dark stuff. And I'm a pretty sensitive person. So I had to really kind of protect myself when I was on set, because a lot of the stuff can get in your head. Sarah and other people can do like and Evan can do like the grossest, most amazing scene and then just be cut and then be like talking about their lunch. It was harder for me to kind of make that differentiation. I would say my favorite one was, I think the last one I did where I was in a warlock. I think that was the Cult. No. I can't remember.
It was Apocalypse.
Apocalypse. Thank you, Lance. Apocalypse. Yeah, I think that was my favorite because I just loved my outfit. I loved like the attitude I got to do. I also really liked Roanoke when I got to play that crazy reality show producer who was murdering everyone. So someday my kids will see those. Not anytime soon though. Thank you for your question, Lance.
Thanks, Lance. All right, Alana, do you have a question?
Yeah, so you mentioned with auditioning, you watch people and learn from people during scenes. Do you have any sort of audition tips for like if you're just going into it with little experience, but you're like working on things? What audition tips would you have for that?
It's a good question, Alana, because it never ends. I'm just getting ready to shoot a sitcom. It's the biggest part of my whole life. I start next week. I'm so excited. It was so nerve-wracking to do the audition. And I'm 45 years old. I've been doing this for 20 something years. So just so you know, it never ends. My advice to you is twofold. Number one, I would say, oh, I lost your face. Where are you there? Okay, I can't see you because there's so many people, but you can hear me. Know your lines cold. Know them so well that you don't have to think about the words. Don't just pretty much know them and have them in your hand. Know them, do it so many times that it's just stupid how many times you do them, because then you don't even have to think about it. It's in your head. But the second and the most important thing to do is just be yourself. I know that sounds cliche and like, just be yourself, just be you. And like, really, what the F does that mean, right? Be yourself. What I think that means is, once I learned, I used to try to emulate other actors, right? I would see somebody who was really, really, like on American Horror Story, I would see, Kathy Bates in the corner, like doing her scene, and she was very serious and she was crying and she was doing it. And I'm like, I was trying to do that. That's not who I am, right? Once I learned to try to not be anybody else, but just be the best Cheyenne I can be, weird, my eyebrows move a lot when I talk. I don't really love the sound of my speaking voice. Whatever it is, the things that you don't like about yourself, embrace that and just do the best version that you can do. Don't try to be anybody else, because truly there's only one of all of you. You do the best thing you can do. That's my very, very best advice. And also be brave in the room. Do something that maybe somebody else hasn't thought of. Whatever that means to you. But the most important thing is be prepared. Be prepared and be nice. You would be surprised how many people go into rooms and they're just jerks. Like, it's ridiculous to me. So be prepared, be nice, and be yourself. That's what I'd say.
Good question. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, kind of just going down the line. Emma Linscott, do you have a question? Your hand is raised. She looks surprised.
Oh my God. Okay. I don't know. I'm shaking. So American Horror Story is one of my like comfort shows. I know that's really weird to say because it's like, but I just want to say that like you are an amazing actor and I think you are really cool. And it's like, I don't know what I'm like. I can't stutter. Or I'm stuttering.
It's okay.
I'm a sophomore in high school and I don't really know what I want to do with my life. There's like a whole bunch of like, pressure on me, but I'm like really, really into acting. And there's like, I see all these stories of like child actors and I'm like, how does that even happen? So like, I was just like wondering, how did you like become an actor? Like, what was your process?
Well, I can already tell that you have something special, Emma, just from watching this screen. I can tell that you can tell when people have something, and you do. I can tell. How did it happen for me? I came from a teeny little town in northern Idaho. We were so poor. We had no running water. We had an outhouse. We had no indoor plumbing. So like there was no children's theater. There was no. I didn't get into theater until I was a sophomore in high school. I did a play. And then until I was 19, I started doing community theater. And then, I always felt like a weirdo and an outcast because I was gay and I was from a really Christian town. And once I found theater and I found people that were like my weird tribe, I just started to feel like myself. And I thought, oh my gosh, these are my people. I started to have confidence in myself. And then I started realizing, whoa, I'm good at this. And I like how I feel when I do this. And I hadn't liked myself in a long time. And then here I was on stage with other people who were also kind of outcasts of their towns. And it just opened up a whole new world for me. I didn't have the guts to do anything about that until I was 27. When I was 27, after 9/11 happened, I moved to New York because I was doing a show in Seattle and everybody was like, what are you doing in Seattle? You should be on Broadway. I'm like, but I didn't go to college and I don't know how to do that. I'm too scared. But I just thought, you know what? This is my time. I'm going to try. And so I moved to New York and I auditioned I got an agent right away and I auditioned for Thoroughly Modern Millie. And I got on Broadway in a few weeks. That is not a typical story because I started late in life. But I would just say wherever there is around you, if whatever local things there are, they're always casting something somewhere. There's always something to do. And I think for a lot of you young people, the internet and YouTube and TikTok, there are so many different ways to get yourself out there. So if you have ideas, if you want to create skits, if you want to do characters, like we all know, if you do a crazy voice and a crazy character and then it hits with people and then it starts to go viral, there are so many different ways to it happen. So I would just say, like, try to create on your own. Be yourself. Be weird. The weirder the better. That's what I think.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Good luck, Emma.
Thank you.
Can I side question with that? Did you like save up money before going to New York, or did you just like go?
I can't see who's asking, but
Me, Kyla. Sorry.
oh, Kai. Oh, it's okay. I did not have very much money to go. I had a little bit of money. I was very, very strapped. In fact, my car had been repossessed in Seattle. I was behind on my rent. But I knew one friend in New York, and I just took a leap of faith, and I was staying in the grossest motel that was so small that I could touch the walls with my hands. That's how small it was. But I believed in myself, and I believed that I just believed I could do it. I don't know why. I don't know where I got that confidence, and I've never had an audition that good again, probably. But I think when you know what manifestation is, when you believe something before anybody else, I believe that I did that. I walked into the room and I was like, I'm here. I didn't even have headshots yet. And they thought my name was fake. They're like, Cheyenne Jackson is your name. I said, yes, it is. It's my real name. But I believed so much. All my job was to do was to convince everybody else that I was the right guy for the job. They also needed somebody who could sing very low and very high. And that's something I've always been able to do. And they needed somebody who looked kind of old and kind of young. That's me. When I was 16 years old, I auditioned for The Sound of Music to play Rolf. And they thought I was there to play the captain. And I was like, no. So I've always been in that in-between where I look kind of young and kind of old. So it also happens to be, being in the right place at the right time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Somebody just wrote, oh, that's funny. I'm sorry.
Yeah, people are chatting.
I love it. It said, if God hates gays, then why are we all so fabulous? Exactly.
It's true. All right, we maybe have time for one more quick, like super fast question because we've got like 2 minutes left. Okay, Skylar, you're on. Quick question, Skylar, go.
Yay. Okay. So, hi. My question was, okay, so obviously being a theater kid myself, like obviously Kenny Ortega is like huge as like a director with Disney and with just any musical in general. So I want to know, like, how did you feel like working with him?
So starstruck, so amazed. I couldn't even, his stories, I'm glad I didn't know how much that he had done before I got there, because I would have been way too starstruck, because I get very starstruck. He's like a child, and I mean that in the very best way. He's not jaded. He's worked with everyone, and Michael Jackson and Madonna and all these people, but he still like is excited about creating art and making, it's called a play. It's not called a work. And I always try to remember that, like, it's supposed to be fun, even though it's hard work and you're there for a long time. He is absolutely incredible, and everything that I had hoped he would be. And we've become friends, and we're going to work together again. And he's the example that I want to set when I start to create projects and produce things. I want to make people feel. Kenny makes you feel on set, and I think any good director, you guys have all been in things and you all can relate. He makes you feel like you can't make any mistakes. Like there's no wrong answer. As long as you're talking, you are creating from your heart and you're giving it your all, there's no wrong answer. How cool. You can't fail. And so it makes you feel confident. It makes you feel alive. And he's kind, and he treats everybody the same, from the guy that comes in and brings everybody the coffee to, like, Kristen Chenoweth. he treats them all the same because we are all the same. And I think that's the most important thing. I wish I had way more time to talk to you guys because this is very inspiring to me.
Well, it's very inspiring to us too. We really, really appreciate it. So I don't know what else to do other than to give you like a virtual round of applause because we really appreciate you being here and talking.
Thank you guys.
And I'm glad that this worked out in our schedule and your schedule. So thank you so much. This was
You're welcome. I know you guys have to go, and I know a lot of people had questions that you didn't get to answer, but I just want to thank you guys for coming on here. I know this is a tough time when we're all at home and we're trying to do virtual learning, and it's so annoying and it's so disheartening, and you feel like you're missing out on things, but just know we truly are going to get through this. There's going to be an end in sight. And we're all going to look back and be like, God, you guys remember 2020? Wasn't that so crazy? So just stay focused, stay positive, and create art, because that's what the world needs right now. We need love. We need kindness. We need art. So create it in your room, create it on your camera, create it on your phone, put it out there. Okay? All right. I love you guys. I got to go see my kids.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
You're
Thank
welcome,
you.
Alicia. Good to see you.
Bye.
Everybody.
Oh, wow.
All right.
It's so crazy. Oh my God.
I know.
Right.
Go to your 4th period. I have to start my 4th period class. Thank you guys for
No,
being.
Doyle, don't leave.
I don't even have a 4th period.
You guys,
Give us late notes.
I can't give you a late note. I have to start my 4th period.
Uh,
Go. Good job,
Bye,
guys.
Doyle.
Bye.